Tell me in a sentence who you are. I'm a boxcar and a killer wine. And a straight razor if you get too close to me.
They are the gods of thunder. Over 700 horsepower of raw power. Leg-burning, ferocious beasts. Sportsmans.
G'day everybody, so tonight we head to Phillip Island for the final round of the National Sports Sedan E-Series and we battle the 50k plate. So tonight we'll have two races, a 20 lap race which will be the decider for the points for the championship, and then a 12 lap 50k race which is the same as what we do in the real sports sedans at the end of each year at Phillip Island. So it should be pretty exciting. It's tied up the top. It's going to be a challenging race, doing 20 laps to start with and then moving over to the 50k plate. The 50k plate is a bit of a jewel in the sports sedan crown, so it should be pretty exciting. So I'd tune in. The guys will be going pretty hard because it's not a championship race. It's just for the glory of winning the plate. So tune in tonight on Lucas Esports. Be there.
G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fifth and final round of our very first National Sports Sedan E-Series for the 2020 Lockdown Series. Hasn't this been great? We're on to round 5 already. There's been action aplenty every week at every track we've been to, and this week a double header. We had Okayama on Tuesday night, and tonight we head to this beautiful racetrack, Phillip Island, down in Victoria, and we've got some special things tonight, including the 50k plate at the end of the night, a 12 lap special event, as Rand just said in the intro. And it won't be for championship points, so the guys will go all out in that one, that's for sure. Righto, we've jumped straight in here tonight, and it's not going to be long before we get straight into qualifying, so not a huge lead up. We're on a little 10-minute practice session right now, and then we're going to get set to go live. So you're looking at the circuit right there up on your screen. It's 4.4 kilometres anti-clockwise, 12 turns. The outright lap record is a 1 minute 24 set by Simon Wills in a Formula Holden back in the year 2000, so a fair while ago, I've got to say. And the track was built in 1928, the running of the 100-mile road race, which eventually became known as the first Australian Grand Prix. Very cool indeed, and there's a lot of guys in the pit lane just doing a mass exit of the pits, as you can see on your screen right now. And let's go and see what's going on, because guess what, we could be already into qualifying, and we are. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it was a quick lead in tonight, and we're going to get this qualifying session underway for you straight away. So let's get into it. Now it's an open qualifier tonight, so they'll get a chance to slipstream, and as they make their way around, obviously they'll be able to take advantage of this big long straightaway, and that possibly could be a great help for some of the lap times, and it could also mean that some of these guys run into a bit of trouble in the qualifying session. And I think this is the first time we've actually done an open qualifier in this one. It's been closed every other time. Thanks, Jeff, for the stars. Appreciate it, my friend. It's a nice start to the broadcast when someone sends those through. We've got the guy at the end of the Tiger King on that jet ski. It still disturbs me, so I thought I'd put it up there as the picture tonight. And it is funny indeed. Alrighto, let's get into this quali session though. You'll start to see some times come up on the screen soon. as they're just on their outlaps, and like I say, there's what we got nearly 30-something cars out there on the track. So it's going to be a little bit of mayhem, folks, while they do get their space sorted out. And let's hope they have thought a little bit about that, giving themselves a little bit of room out on the track. Got some new onboard shots tonight, which should be exciting too. Look at that one, Rob Bowden. And I've been doing a little bit of work during the week to get these onboard shots up to spec for you, so you can see how quick and how nice these cars actually look. A lot of effort goes into the detail that goes into their liveries, with all their real world sponsors being stuck on the car, which is fantastic to see as well. Brock Schaefer with an early purple sector there, so keep an eye down the bottom of your screen for the purple sectors. Now, Phillip Island, they actually get a time on their outlap, so that 1 minute 30 is actually an outlap time that Schaefer has posted straight away, with Bond and McCoskey in third place. So keep an eye on that. Schaefer has done a purple sector through the first timing bracket. So, and Miles Bond also going very quickly as well. There is Miles up in the Z4 and looking good indeed. We'll get a few nice shots like this tonight where we can just move the camera around a little bit, and our broadcasting skills ever trying to improve each week, and we're going to bring you as much of this action as we can. So once again, I will reference the chat. Brock's just done a second purple sector there, so we might just watch him finish off this lap. You can see he's right out ahead of the field on your lap count board there. And he's going to come around here and finish with a pretty epic time, I would say, to put an early post up on the board. Here we go, finishing the lap right now. He comes through, crosses the line, 3 purple sectors at 26.3. So there you go, Schaefer with an early mark to set down for everyone else. Let's see what Bond can do. He's about to cross the line. He does go through with a 27.5. Schaefer holds on to the top, and it's about a second between himself and Bowden at the moment up the top of this one. Righto, folks, let's get a few people on the chat talking, and I'll quickly bring that up on my screen so I can have a quick chat. And it's nice to see you all tuning in already. Lockie, River, Anthony, g'day, who else we got there? Team Schaefer already loaded in, as always. And Jeff, thank you for watching along. And get in touch with us via the chat, and we'll read out as many of those comments as we can. It's only a 10-minute quali session, this, so very quick. Then we get into our first race tonight. So I will try and flick through all your favourite drivers, but if you have anyone in particular you want to see, do your best just to do a shout out in the chat. One guy I do want to feature a little bit here is our sponsor for this evening in the MMS Esports Z4, and doing a fantastic job just getting out there at the moment up in P6. So I'm sure he's been putting in a bit of effort this week to make sure his times are right up there. And we're right on board with the Z4 as he just comes around, gets the power down. Very tricky through this corner to get the power down nice and evenly. And we'll see him come around over the curb cam. There he is right there. Jump back on board to finish the lap. He's also got a little bit of someone stealing a toe behind him. I'm just trying to see who that is. It's one of the Corvettes by the look of it. And but he's done a nice job there. It's P6 still, with a 28.6, just drops down to 8th as Phillips goes up the top there with a 26.9, just behind Schaefer. And Bond still in 3, Dixon in 4. He's just gone off the track actually, Dixon. Let's see if we can pick up where he is. He's going for a huge slide there. So Dixon just finding the grass early here, which is very easy to do at Phillip Island. And let's hope we don't see more of that, because turn 1 around this place, they do a rolling start, but turn 1 can be pretty exciting. If someone gets out there on the grass, yeah, it can get a bit crazy. Now we've put a few challenges out there tonight, including one, if anyone's in the house with Brock Schaefer, there is a big dare going around that someone covers his eyes when he's leading this race, if he's leading this race. So the dare has been put there. If you want to film it, we'll show it on the Lucas Esports, but don't get yourself in too much trouble. Righto, Miles Bond, where is he? He's out there racing around. Neil Yates up into 5th place. There he is in the Corvette and looking nice indeed. I think we've got a new onboard shot for here too. We can see the beautiful flames coming out the side of this Corvette as it screams around this track. Doesn't that look good, folks? So we'll get all these high quality shots in HD. Make sure you're watching it in HD. If you've got the internet qualities to do so, click on the settings and get the HD setting up on your screen. Get it on the telly in the lounge room. Get all the folks gathered around and watch a bit of Australian or National Sports Sedan E-Series tonight for this final one of their series. And they're going to have a couple of weeks off and come straight back with another series. I think we're doing 7 events in that second one, so that's going to be pretty damn exciting, and I'm looking forward to that. There's Kevin Coulson out there. He's down the back at the moment. Who else have we got? Let's just go through a few of the guys hanging around the back. Here we've got Stuart Brown's out there. We just had someone saying, can you put a race magazine car? Well, there's Ferguson Group Media and Race Magazine on that car. So Stuart's out there doing a nice job at the moment in 24th place. We want to try and carry that up a little bit as well. Now we'll just get the time up. So we've got about 3 minutes left in this quali section. Rand, have we got you in the comm box? I can hear you in the background there.
We do, because I underfueled, so I only got I didn't get my last flying lap, unfortunately. I got caught up a little bit behind some cars, which is the joy of open qualifying, which is what I wanted to do. I really wanted to do it all season, because in sports sedans, that's what we do. We all go out together, and part of the art is trying to find a clean lap.
For sure, mate, and it looks good for us too at this end, being able to see all the cars stealing some slipstreams and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it makes it a lot more exciting. So yeah, look, yeah, I think it just makes it more exciting for you guys, and it's something I'm going to try and get the guys to be keen to do more next season. But they all get a bit upset because they like their solo flying laps.
For sure, mate. Now you've been so busy getting this series happening, and also just, I guess, going through the motions of week to week, making sure everything's set for the next race round. So first of all, big congratulations, and I think everyone watching will appreciate your effort that you've put in, and go with me on that congratulations. But mate, how are you feeling about tonight? I know you're pretty tired, and you're going to get a couple of weeks off after this. Well, you've probably got other stuff on, but you're going to get a few weeks off to think about the next season. But what have you got planned for us?
Look, yeah, thanks. Look, it's I suppose it's a nice little insight into what John Goulet and Michael Robinson, who run the Nationals. Obviously, it's a lot more work for them. I'm not saying it's the same, but it gives me a little bit more insight into how dealing with drivers and the politics and people want certain things, and I understand. I know that they get the same thing, and it's been very interesting being on this side of the fence, so to speak. So, but it's been great. Having a lot of guys that are race drivers in the real world, bring that into the sim world has been really interesting, and I've learned a lot from the sim guys as well, because obviously, even though I've had iRacing for a while, I didn't know half the stuff that we're using now. So yeah, next season we're going to 7 events. I don't know why I decided that, but I did, and going to some new tracks. I'm going to try and do a lot more of this 2-race format as well, rather than in long races. We will keep the enduro race at Bathurst, because I suppose it's kind of iconic to do a long race there. But yeah, just trying to align ourselves more with how sports sedans race in real life. We have some limitations in iRacing, but we've also got some things that we can do, so we're going to try and utilise it. So yeah.
Epic, man. I'm looking forward to it, and we will be covering it over here on Lucas Esports, and it's been a fantastic season. I can't believe we're at the final round already of this first one. I know it's been the highlight of my week to log in here and do this with you guys, so big thanks. And with only 20 seconds left, we're going into race 1. Quickly tell us about race 1 tonight.
Race 1 is the points race, so this is for the championship. So this is the one where the guys up the front have got to do well, and I've just got to hang in there personally. But yeah, so this is the one for the points. The 50k plate will be just a standalone event. So I better hop over there, and I'll chat to you guys soon.
Good luck, mate. Have a good race. All right, so that was Rand just quickly chatting us through a few of the things that's going on, and we're about to get ready for race number 1 tonight. It will be a rolling start, and by the looks of where that safety car has pulled up, it's going to take us for a full lap around this Phillip Island circuit, which will be great. We'll get a chance just to settle in, and first of all, get the grid up on the screen. So qualifying done and dusted. That was really quick, wasn't it? And as you could see, it was nice to run an open qualifying session tonight. And let's get this grid through for you. So Brock Schaefer did come home first with a 126.0. 7/10 off the pace, Rob Bowden tonight. So a bit of a gap between first and second there. And Dion Phillips coming home in third there for qualifying. And he's 8/10 off the pace as well. Miles Bond into fourth. Then we've got Jason Dixon in 5th place, doing really well. And Neil Yates in 6th. On the 4th row, we've got Anderson and Pickett. Then in the we've got Peter Ellenbogen. Nice job by him too. Adam Neal in 10th place. That's your top 10, ladies and gentlemen. Then we go to Aidan Monga and Markowski in P12 in the MMS Esports car, sponsoring tonight's event. So that's a good job by him to be up there in the top half of this grid. Let's go over the page now and see Shane Woodman in 13. We've got Collins, Blattman Bond, Dexter Carroll down in 18th, and Coulson, Rand McClurkin in 20th. Then we've got Chris Jackson, Whitworth in 22nd place. Then we've got Andrew Rhodes Anderson down in 23rd place. Colin Smith in 24th. Over the page, we've got more drivers. Look at that, folks. There's a big grid tonight. Stuart Brown, Zach Cam. Then we've got Dempsey, Rodriguez, Don, Scott in 30th place, Sweeney, Cox, Henwood, and rounding out the grid tonight, Philip Crompton. So 34 cars out there on the grid, getting set to go racing. And check out this circuit. Let's just we got the chopper just hovering over the grid for us as we zoom back and have a look at all these sports sedans here lined up, ready to absolutely rocket around this Phillip Island circuit. 4.4 kilometers of what I think is going to be a bit of mayhem into turn 1. Now, if someone loses it into turn 1 and goes across the grass, I tell you what, we're going to see some serious carnage as they rejoin. So really looking forward to this. Share it with your friends. Jump on the chat right now and just comment on there and put a few friends, tag a few mates in there that love their sports sedans, and let's get this underway for tonight's racing. Righto, the first one's going to be interesting, isn't it? We're going to have Schaefer leading us away shortly, and we do a full lap around here under caution before we get started, as they do in the real thing. And you can just see Bowden Phillips Bond in there as well. And I tell you what, watching these cars scream around the corner here is going to be absolutely exciting. And look at the field, folks. You don't see this sort of quality of stuff in iRacing too often with this many cars too. 7 different makes of cars, and they've done a really good job. I say this week in, week out, but they've done a really good job to balance the power out between the cars. So like I say, different cars completely. We've got GT1s, we've got V8 supercars, and they've managed to balance them out. And even the caddies are doing well. And now a few things about the race tonight I should quickly mention, because they did send me through the sub-regs, which is very good. It's very professional series, which I love about these real-life race drivers. They're used to doing things a little bit by the book, which is great, but they also have a lot of fun. But this first one tonight, now the pit requirements, because I did mess this up on Tuesday night's broadcast, I wasn't sure about this, so I just want to quickly run you through the requirements. So the BMW M8 must make 2 mandatory pit stops, and 1 set of tyres must be taken. The Aston Martin must make 2 pit stops as well. The the Corvette, must make 2 pit stops. The BMW must make 2, and also the supercar must make 2. The Cadillac doesn't have to make a pit stop, so you can do its full race on its set of tyres and fuel if they can achieve that without obviously putting it in the fence or into the ocean. So a few little things to mention that they do try and even everything out with that. The fuel tank capacities are a little bit different as well, but I won't run you through all that now. But this first race, a 20 lapper around Phillip Island, 20 degrees Celsius out there. It's going to be absolutely cracking. So how you feeling out there on the chat? Who's your money on for the victory tonight? Let's see how we go once we get underway. Not far to go as we just go through the last couple of corners now. And then we're going to go absolutely berserk for this race start. And listen to this, folks. You're going to hear 25,000 horsepower get into gear. Miles Bond already on the headlights, so he's getting a little bit frisky there in the background. And they're about to come over here. It'll be on starter's orders. Once they get through this final corner, turn 12, they're going to get underway very soon. Let's go to our pit lane camera. You can see them now just starting to get the power down. And here we go, folks. Get set to go racing here for the final round of the National Sports Sedan E-Series, and they are underway for this first one. Look at this. What a great start as they all come screaming down this huge long straight here at Phillip Island. The V8 supercar of Schaefer, no, Pickett, sorry, goes straight up into the lead of this race with that extra straight line speed advantage. What a great jump by Pickett there, going straight into the lead. Bowden has got a jump too on Schaefer. He's dropped back a little bit, so great start there by Pickett. And Schaefer dropping back one. Bond holding on to position there as we come screaming down for the first time. And look at that, all these cars getting through there cleanly, which is a fantastic start. We've got Tim Henwood, unfortunately, he's gone off the track, but everyone else going well. Bowden, huge lock up there, and he's gone straight ahead. So Bowden's gone straight off there into the gravel trap. And who else have we got there off the road? It's Anderson. So Anderson off as well, folks. So not a good start for those two guys. And unfortunately, Bowden, that's going to really hurt his championship if he's going to have to try and dig it out of the sand there and get going again. So wow, Adam Monga on the move, doing a nice job as well. So what a huge start for those guys. But Pickett with the early jump. Now you're going to see here on the main straight, no one's going to be able to catch him. Can Schaefer do anything early on here as he goes for a move, goes to the outside, and he's going to try and go the long way around? I don't think that'll work, but he may try it anyway. I think he may have to yield. No, he doesn't. He hangs on around the outside. They're going to go together, these guys. Let's hope they can hang on and not get into each other. But you're going to see this tussle all night between the GT1 car and the V8 supercar. We'll ride on board with Pickett as we hit the straight. And watch the speed of this car. He's going to get a bit of slipstream as well. So he jumps in the slipstream now. Watch the speed of this. Last time we did Phillip Island, we saw him actually make a move around the outside here, Schaefer. This time he blocks off the inside run. That's going to be hard for the supercar to pull up around there, and he does well too. So Pickett driving absolutely well tonight to not throw that onto the grass, and he's got Bond for company right behind him as well. So great start, good first lap that one, and it is Schaefer in front of Pickett. Now Schaefer's going to try and have to get a little bit of a gap here, like I say, over Pickett. Otherwise, when we get to that next straightaway, he's just going to blast by him again as Bond puts a little bit of a move on now, and he does get the move done. So nice job by Miles Bond, jumping up into P2 there, gets the job done on the V8 supercar. So interesting indeed. We're going to see them just go around this corner now, and Bond with an early move there, he's up 2 spots into P2. So fantastic job by him. Let's go back and have a look through the pack as they filter through here. And up over Lukey, we'll just have a quick look and see where everyone else is. We've got Neil there, Dixon still in 5th. We've got Ellenbogen, McCoskey, Yates, Collins doing a nice job as well. And they keep filtering through. We've got a lot of drivers who are up places tonight. We've got Colin Smith up 10 spots in P14. So a cracking start by him as well. Let's see who else has moved a lot through the field. Jaden Sweeney up 13 spots, so good job by him to be right up where he is. And let's see who else is moving around. Rand McClurkin actually up in 12th. He's up 8 spots, so fantastic job by Rand. And we talked to him before. Let's have a look down the main straight as this big Corvette puts the power down and gets its top speed. What is the top speed? Let's have a quick look if we can. We'll get the dashboard up next lap around, and we'll actually have a look at what sort of speed they're getting out of these cars. We know it was about 15 kilometers per hour, the advantage the V8 supercars had last time out around this circuit. We got over a bit of a crash there. That's Aidan Monga and Shane Woodman getting together. Let's have a quick look at that on a replay, folks, and see what happened there. If we can. I think he may have lost it by himself. Did he? We'll go to a slow-mo replay in a sec. We're looking at Aidan there. Oh no, and it was Woodman coming in through, a bit out of control, going a little bit sideways. And does he get a bit of net code there possibly, or is Monga just going to run into the back of him as he tries to avoid the spinning Woodman? I think he's just going to run into him. Let's just speed this up a little bit, and he does. He just gives him a bit of a tap. Now watch the carnage from behind as everyone else tried to filter through. That was Rand getting through there nice and cleanly. So Aidan getting back underway in the AMS S15 Z4, but interesting. Let's go back to live, folks, because we don't want to miss any action as Schaefer still hangs on to the lead of this one by 3.8 seconds at the moment. So we'll pause it down here as we go down the main straight and have a look at the gap. We'll go to the pit cam quickly and have a squiz. There is your gap to P2, and it is Miles Bond. Josh Pickett coming over the line now with Adam Neal right behind him. Dixon still in 5th place. Ellenbogen, Markowski, Yates, and Collins just coming across the line there. Then look back now for Rand McClurkin coming through. He's got Monga right on his tail. Look at that. So they're right together. Curtis Dexter, there he is coming across the line now with Colin Smith right behind him. And Rhodes Anderson, Carroll, Bowden, Sweeney coming through. Then we got Blattman, Woodman, Dempsey, Henwood, Phillips, Brown, Don, Anderson, Whitworth, Cox, Bond, Coulson, Jackson, Cam and Rodriguez, unfortunately back in the pit lane. So there is your whole field, folks. And what a fantastic bunch of sports sedan drivers getting through and getting this happening. So crazy indeed. Let's get back to some live shots though, as our broadcast producer there has a bit of a shocker, and that is me, yours truly. So doing about 50 things here at once and trying to bring you some great live action tonight for this National Sports Sedan Series. And Schaefer 5.1 seconds already, so what a lead. He's continuing to just eke this out. Let's have a look at the gap back to Miles Bond. There it is there, folks. So it's 5.4 seconds now and just continues to be eaten out. Let's go look for some battles. I love looking for battles, and here's one right now with Yates on the back of Markowski. So let's ride on board with Yates and watch this big Corvette put some power down up against the little Z4. I think he's given me a Stifler profile picture there, which is interesting when I asked him to give me a profile picture for himself. So that's his driver picture, a little bit interesting. And here we go. This is pretty good. Big run down the straight. It looks like that Z4 is actually holding its own. Markoski, he's backed out of the throttle there by the sound of that, so he possibly doesn't want to make the move just yet, Yates. He's been a little bit careful with the way he's racing. Ellenbogen also just up ahead of them in 6th place, doing a great job too. And Rand's up 9 spots now, so Rand's next person is Aiden Monger, and he's starting to close in on him a little bit as well. And Curtis Dexter 2 seconds behind Rand, also just trying now to gather him in. So this midfield pack is having a nice little battle tonight, and we expected that in this 20 lapper. So yeah, it's going to be good, isn't it? So we're on a lap 5 of 20. And thank you for the stars. We had a few stars sent through before. Appreciate that. I will make sure I go back and thank you all at the end of the race, and I definitely get on the chat and thank you later. So thanks for your support for the little Lucas Esports Network. Let's skip back and find some more battles. So like I say, Markoski in a nice battle here with Yates, and Yates still on the back of him. You can hear the tyres really howling. It's that's Pickett in a battle here with Dixon. Let's hope these guys can keep it clean. We'll look out the back of Pickett. He's going to have his hands full here, as that M8 is great through the corner. So look at the M8 right underneath him, and you're going to see him probably go for a bit of a move down the side here. No, he just thinks better of it, and he'll pull out of that. And unfortunately, this is where the supercar, once it gets the power down, once it gets its traction, you're not going to catch it down here in a straight line as it starts to pull away. Look at that, just you know, it's like an athlete down here running away from a kid with a cheeseburger. So look at that, good run down the straight. Adam Neal just in front of him, having a fantastic race. He's up in 3rd spot, 7 places from where he started. So he's running it for a podium at the moment in that Z4, and I gotta say, it's going to be pretty good, isn't it, if he can hang on and get up there. Quickly, let's go over to the chat and see what everyone's saying. If everyone can just tell me where they're watching from tonight, I'll read out as many as I can. Question from Patrick: why would my screen be a bit blurred, not quite in focus? Might be just your quality, mate. You might have to make sure you're in HD, but other than that, not sure. Hopefully it's looking right for everyone else, and everyone else can let me know that it's looking okay. So there you go. Righto, what else have we got here? If everyone jumps on the chat and lets me know where they're watching from, I'll quickly read them out when I can. We did have a message up the top there from Rebecca saying, I'll cover Brock's eyes after the race is over, so that would be very funny indeed. And yeah, Miles doing a great job, 10 seconds out in the lead at the moment. Let's go to this battle here. We've got 5 cars, with Dixon now putting a move on Ellenbogen. He gets the job done too, so Ellenbogen on the back of Pickett still. And then we got Markoski in this fight here with Ellenbogen and Neil Yates too. He's going to try and get 2, as that was Ellenbogen, sorry, jumping into the pit lane there. So there you go, Ellenbogen taking his pit stop now, which is probably a good idea as everyone else filters through. You can just see those cars in the back of your screen, Pickett. And who else have we got in there in the pits? We've got Josh Pickett, we've got Ellenbogen, Miles Bond in the pits as well, as everyone else continues on. Curtis Dexter's come into the pit lane. I'll just pan that camera around so you can see the guys in the pits. There he is, Pickett. We'll just focus in on him a little bit as he's about to leave. That is Bond leading just in front of him, leaving the pit lane now. Gets away nicely, so we'll just keep this camera shot as you can see them filtering through, and your timing screen will sort itself out once they get out. And Ellenbogen just coming out behind Pickett there. So there you go, the pit stop phase well underway in this race now, and we're looking at Markoski once again battling hard. He's having a great race tonight, and being the sponsor of the evening, I'd say he's put a bit of extra practice in, and he's really repping tonight, so good job. Righto, what else we got down the pack? Let's have a look. Colin Smith is having a battle. There he is. So Smith's having a good battle at the moment with Blattman. Blattman in that Corvette as well, up in 10th spot, up 5 spot. But Colin Smith up 13 spots in the caddy. So let's see, is he the leading caddy? I'm pretty sure he is. So yeah, good job by him to be up there in the lead. Schaefer's in the pits. So our race leader's just come into the pit lane, folks. And we'll get a shot of him in the pits. There he is, just coming down on the right-hand side of your screen. As we'll get a new race leader shortly. No, they're all pitting. So Neil's coming to the pits, Dixon in the pits, Yates in the pits, Markoski in the pits as well. So we'll watch for anyone to overtake. They're all coming into the pit lane here. So interesting to take that strategy now. Everyone's sort of following the leader, and you can see them all filtering down this pit lane together. So interesting to note that. And they're doing 2 stops here, so that's lap 7. Keep an eye on that. I'll try and bring up some strategy graphics for you shortly, which will show when they've stopped and who's who. Colin Smith takes the lead of the race. So there you go. Smith into the lead. Bond in P2. So a bit of a jump there. Bond's got the jump on Schaefer. We did see Bond have his pit stop, I'm pretty sure. So that's a pretty epic job there by Bond. I'm not sure if Schaefer's been held up or not. We'll double check that. But also in the sub-regs, there is differences between which cars must take tyres in the pit stop. So that might be where he's done the job. He's going to have a shot here on the... he does. He gets it done. So nice driving there by Bond to go up into the lead of this race. And he'll pull this up down here and get it done. Gets the stop. And Colin Smith now back into P2. But running nicely up 22 positions now. Yet to stop though. So that tells a little bit of a story of why he's up so high. And the leaderboard is working overtime, Anthony. Yes, sir, it is. And my graphics are also screaming through at the moment as everyone just files through positions. Now let's look. This battle here with Dixon is still going on. So these guys have had a ding-dong this whole race. And aren't they doing a fantastic job? As we come through the corner, Dixon's going to go to the outside here once we get down. And will he get it done? He does get the job done. So... we'll stay with this battle for a little bit because it's probably our closest battle out on the track, as you can see them filter through there, and that is Brocky Schaefer. We just saw in the back of your picture as well coming through. Just hang there and you'll see Schaefer. He'll come up onto the back of Dixon very shortly. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. From he did lose a few spots in that earlier pit stop phase, and obviously I've got enough to do without checking the sub-regs, but I'd say he had to take tyres and Miles probably didn't. So that gives Miles about a 6-second lead at the moment. And but Schaefer, watch him come up pretty quickly. Righto folks, let's go to our overhead chopper cam. We'll have a bit of an overview of the race and see where they're at the moment. You'll see from the overhead camera angle this little battle between Neil, Dixon and Schaefer coming onto the back of him now as they head down into Honda and get hard on the brakes. A very good example there. We could see Dixon locking a couple of wheels there, and Schaefer puts a move on. You see him just darting down to the inside there. Is he going to get the job done? We might just keep on this view at the moment because I think Schaefer will probably have a look as we come up over Lukey Heights into turn 10, and he'll definitely get it done. I'd say coming back around 11 and 12 onto the main straight, the way he's shaping this up here. But Dixon's been quick, and Dixon may even try and send one here on Neil. He is. He's going to send one on Neil down the inside and gets the job done. Does Schaefer go with him? We'll just stick with this because great driving by these guys. And Dixon, nice move indeed. We might see if we can actually go back and watch a quick replay of that pass in a minute. But at the moment, we'll stick with this because Schaefer, he's going to go around the outside there of Neil. And look at this run. He gets the headlights flashing. He's going to come screaming down here and also get a run on Smith. So he makes up a few spots here. He should get Smith as well. Down the end of the straight, there he is. He's going to pull it out of the slipstream. No, he hangs in there. So he's got to be a little bit patient here because he doesn't want to stuff this up. You can just see we've got cars aplenty in this little battle as Neil now hangs it right around the outside. Dixon's just lurking in the background as well. So great job this as Schaefer finally gets the move done, and he's going to race away here. Dixon's going side by side now with Smith. Neil still just hanging in there at the back looking for a way through. So great racing, I've got to say, and the quality of racing between these guys has been superb. Week in, week out, I've got to say, it's a really high standard. We've hardly seen any cars go off the track tonight already. We're on lap 10. We're halfway through this race. And yeah, I think people in the chat would agree that it's just been really good racing all the way around. They do take it seriously, and they all do have that real-world experience, which I guess helps with, you know, with when you take it to the sim, you've got that next level of ability, but at the same time, some of them have had to learn the sim, which can be completely different as well to racing a real car when you're not getting those same feedback through your backside that you would get in the real race car. As we've heard them say quite often in these cars, by the time you lose it, you know, your inner ear, you're not getting that same sense. You would normally catch it quick enough in a real race car, but you've got to be super quick in the sim to catch the oversteer especially. And so far so good. Miles Bond still leading this one, but his lead is going to come under threat eventually. It's 6 seconds at the moment, so that has pretty much stayed where it's been. So Bond is doing a fantastic job to just stay out there where he is in front. We'll just go to the chopper cam and see if we can find the gap. We'll just zoom back here at this fantastic Phillip Island circuit. And there he is, the little black speck in the middle of your screen. And then there is your man Schaefer. And he's got Whitworth right behind him in that very bright pink car. You can't miss that one. So there you go, folks. So Schaefer just moving along nicely there. He's got it down to 5 seconds now, the gap between himself and Bond. Now, a bit of a battle here still going on between the Z4s. So Ellenbogen and Markowski, they've got a point to prove here. These guys have been ding-donging it out pretty much the whole race now. We've been asked for a Z4 lap on board for a whole lap. I could probably do that for you. Just let me see where we're at on this lap. We might at least do half a lap. So let's ride the rest of this lap out on board with our sponsor here, Jason Markowski. So getting it turned in nicely here as he comes up over Lukey, really important. And then find your braking marker. It gets a little bit unsettled. Hard on the brakes, down here to first gear usually. And then you've got to be really careful on the throttle. You sort of short shift there, dull the throttle through there, don't tramp on it, otherwise you'll find yourself sideways out in the weeds, picking up dust out of your teeth. And then hard on the throttle as you get it turned in through turn 12. A little bit of a lift there so you can get the front end to bite, and then hard on the throttle as you head down that straightaway. So that was riding on board there with Jason Markowski, and doing a good job indeed as we go down the Gardner Straight into Doohan Corner. And nice car, isn't it? Looks great. These liveries, like I say, they've done a great job to make the cars look fantastic. Let's go and have a look where Schaefer is. He's got a bit of a gap. He's got it down to 4 seconds now. So there he is, just in the background, starting to lurk. We got Dixon up into P3, and he's doing well. Then we just look behind him. You can just see Adam Neal just behind him as well. And I will try and pick up some replays for you as we go through this event. But you know what? There hasn't been many crashes, which is a fantastic thing. I've got to say, there's usually I'm getting alerts saying such and such has crashed here and there, but right now they haven't. So let's go through the field and look for some other battles. Monga still in a battle here with Collins, and Collins also in a battle with Andrew Rhodes Anderson just in front of him. So you're looking at these drivers now. This little four-way battle for 8th spot with the caddy of Andrew Rhodes Anderson. He's up 15 spots where he is. Remember, these guys don't have to pit in the caddy, so that gives them a little bit of an advantage. And the supercar will just be starting to look where he can get through here. Just over the top of Lukey, and let's see if he can send one down here. No, he thinks better of it, as Monga getting a little bit sideways in the background there. So yeah, Pickett car, we'll find out where Pickett's gone actually. He's dropped right down off the screen. Let me find him. He's down in 11th spot. So we just had someone in the chat say Pickett's car, all good, question mark. We'll pick him up in a second and see how he's going as we just ride with Monga on board. And you can just see that supercar just pull away down the straight, and it's going to put a move on here with the caddy down at the end of the straight, and he gets it through. No, he doesn't. So fantastic driving, Rhodes Anderson being able to hang on here against that mighty V8 supercar, and it's pretty rare you'd see. Oh, he's going to go down the inside there, so he should be able to get this job done and then get the power down, and Collins should then be able to blast away. We're right on board looking out the back with Collins, and you can just see that extra power, straight line speed from the V8 supercar pulling away. Josh Pickett, let's just pick him up. He's in the background of this little battle. He's just going to put a move now on Yates. No, sorry, not on Yates. That is a lapped car. That was Coulson there getting lapped by Pickett. So Coulson, unfortunately, not having a good race tonight. And yeah, wow, he's back in 20th spot, so he's not going to be happy with that. 26th spot, sorry, with Dempsey in 27th. So we're riding with Pickett now, having a look. He's got a big side swipe on that car, so he's been in the wars tonight as we go through lap 13 now. This race happening very quickly. Bond's in the pits now for his second stop, everyone. Keep an eye on that. We'll see where he comes out. Schaefer back in the lead. Dixon in P2. Neal's up into 3 now. And I think Markowski, who's staying out, will go through into 4th. Ellenbogen's gone into the pit lane with Bond. So we've got Ellenbogen, and we've got Pickett coming into the pits too. We'll ride on board, see if he can get it down to this pit lane speed limit. Tricky pit entrance, this one. Easy to put a wheel on the grass. He's on the limiter now. He's doing the shift change little hack, I guess you'd call it. Gets him a little bit of time through the pits. And Markowski has stayed out. Colin Smith has stayed out as well. Look at this little gaggle of cars as they come through the final corner onto the main straight. No, sorry, I'm in a different part of the racetrack there. Getting a little bit confused. Down through the southern loop. So here we go. Down the hill, and very easy to make a mistake there through Stoner Corner. Down into Honda now. and hard on the brakes. We haven't seen much of Whitworth tonight. He is racing there. Let's get him up on the screen really quickly. Unfortunately, he's back in a 32nd spot in the Aston Martin tonight, and 2 laps down. So not having a great final race here. Chris Jackson, how's he going in the L Plate Corvette? He's going alright. He's in 28th spot and racing. He's dropped 7 spots from where he started, unfortunately. Mark Dempsey just in front of him with Kevin Coulson as well. Woodman in front of him in the M8. Great looking car, that one. But we've seen him a little bit in the wars tonight. I think it was with Monga earlier in the race. So he's dropped back a fair way. So Monga off at turn 2. Nick's just saying, let's have a quick look where Monga is. He may have had a little bit of an off there. I've got Rob Bowden having a crash with Curtis Dexter, unfortunately. And Shane Cox has had an incident too. So the chat picking up stuff for me, which is fantastic as always. But no, I didn't see. Yeah, we got Monga. He did go off the track. Let's get a quick replay. Seeing as though the chat pointed this out, let's have a quick look at his little excursion. And did he go off? He did. He put a wheel off and took it for a bit of a grass mowing excursion down into the dirt. So good pick up there by the chat as always. I got to say, I got the best chat in the business, and you picked that really, really well. Put a wheel on the dirt, and then it was all over from there. He was a passenger. And luckily, unlike the real thing, he can actually drive pretty much straight out of these sand pits and get underway again. Smith, he's in P1, doing a fantastic job. Now remember, he doesn't have to pit. He's got a gap here of only 1.2 seconds over our P2 man, Miles Bond, and then we'll just bring up the pit stops for you right now so you can see who has pitted, and you can see Bond and Neil both doing their required 2 stops. Now the 2 caddies there, Smith and Anderson, Rhodes Anderson, they do not have to stop. So and also Kurt Bond in 6th spot does not have to stop either. So it's all starting to fall into place here. We're seeing Colin Smith out in the lead. There he is. And then you look back just behind him, Miles Bond in P2, 2 seconds behind. So a bit of lap traffic getting into this now. It could mean that Bond has his work cut out for him to get up into the lead of this race. We'll see how we go. Yeah, let's get to the end of this one nice and cleanly for these front runners. I'd love to see a couple of these caddies up there on the podium for this final 5th round of the National Sports Sedan E-Series from Phillip Island. Good shots here as we'll see this big M8 looking out the back there, starting to put a bit of pressure on. Goes to the left-hand side of the racetrack, hugging the pit wall. And we haven't talked much about the pit exit tonight, and I'm actually really surprised. I was prepared to do a bit of a piece on the pit exit that they're using. They're using the short exit, which means it spits you straight out onto the racing line. And oh, we've got a big hit there, so that's the race leader getting hit, unfortunately. Oh, and he was hit by a back marker too, so that's really, really unfortunate, and he's going to be really dirty about that. Let's go to a quick replay and have a look. It was see if we can pick up a replay. No, it's not going to help me there, is it at all? We'll just try that once more. Sometimes iRacing won't do what I ask it to do, and we'll get a shot. It was Rhodes Anderson, and he just had the M8 come down and get into the back of him. There you go. So another hit there. So sorry, that was a different incident. So we had 2 incidents there, and iRacing didn't actually pick up the first one with Smith. Luckily for Smith, he's still out there going quite well in P2. But it could have been a lot worse, I can tell you right now. And it was, we got Whitworth, and we've also got Coulson in this little battle, and they're actually lapped cars. So Coulson, we'll just see where he's at. He's down, way down the bottom of the field, unfortunately. He's down in 24th place, just up ahead, and he's onto the back of Miles Bond, just trying to unlap himself here. So I'm not sure what Miles will do, if he'll fight this one or not. But Coulson is trying to just, I guess, get a little bit of redemption here as he tries to unlap himself coming down the straight. You can see the little Z4 holding its own. Nice straight car there, I've got to say, too, Miles Bond, and he's going to let him go, probably let him unlap himself. There's no point fighting the back marker at this late stage of the race. And yeah, just a comment on the chat saying the M8 should have backed out. Yep, better brakes than the Caddy, and that's something they've got to fine tune as they do run more and more of these mixed sessions with all the different cars. Is the strengths and the weaknesses of each car is quite obvious in places, and you do get caught out sometimes with another car that has to brake a little bit harder, a little bit sooner. Then all of a sudden you're into the back of them. As we get a nice little move here for position. Adam Neal going through on Colin Smith. So Neal now in the BMW Z4 up into P2. We've got a Z4 1-2 How's that, folks? And 3.5 laps to go in this, our final race. But don't worry, don't go anywhere, because straight after this one, we are doing that 50k plate. That'll be 12 laps around here, like they do in real life, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic to bring you that as well. So Miles Bond, this would be fitting. He's put a lot of work into this series with Ran, one of the series organisers, and it'll be fitting for him to come home and take a win here if he can. But like I say, he's got a fair bit of traffic in front of him. Let's just go to a chopper view and you'll see what's up ahead there. You can see a fair few cars. He just disappears off the screen for a second there. We'll ask our chopper just to fly around a little bit, get us a bit of a different angle there. So you can just see the lap cars in front. He's got one of the Race Magazine Ferguson Group media cars in front of him now. So we'll just ride on board. Let's see if this car is brown in front of him. So is Stu going to get out of the way? We'll have a look. No, he just hangs into position. So you'll start to get a few blue flags. You get the blue flags in iRacing, just like you would in real life. And yeah, at the moment, Bond just not being too aggressive here. He doesn't need to be. He's got Neil behind him. But I think he probably feels pretty comfortable here. If you can just maybe put a couple of these lap cars. He's got, I think it's Ashley McClurkin next up the road as well, so you'll try and put him in between him as well. Oh, there's a bit of a hit there. Was there a touch? I'm not sure if Miles got into the back, and there's no damage on Miles's car, but we will have a look at that and see if we can work out what happened. I didn't even get a crash flag come up in iRacing, but let's just quickly pick up that replay for you, and I'll have to reverse it up and have a squiz at what happened, because we'll try and work out if there was contact between the cars. Stewart's lost the back of his car, unfortunately. That's going to really hurt him for the remainder of this one. But we'll just have a look on board with him coming down into the corner and see if there was contact. They did get very close, and there was too. So Bond putting a bit of a hit on the back of there, and a late breaking defensive move by Brown. Probably not what you want to do when you're a lap down, but unfortunately that's how it goes. And Bond, luckily in the lead of this race, not too affected by that incident. But Brown, unfortunately, that's going to be the end of his efforts tonight for this first race. So a little bit unfortunate that, but yeah, probably lucky that our leader didn't cop more damage out of that. Big look out, where has Schaefer come from? He's right on the back of this. So Schaefer has come out of nowhere. He wasn't even on the timing board a minute ago. He was down in 6th or 7th place, and all of a sudden he's up there in P2 and challenging for the lead of this race. Is he going to go around the outside here? Surely not. Round the outside at the southern loop? Oh, I don't know. He's going to have a go at it. And Bond's going to hang on, but look at that, round the outside. So thanks, River, for the stars, man. I really appreciate that. You're a bloody legend. And Bond's not having any of that. He's coming back at him now, so we're going to see them come down to the corner here side by side. Schaefer's going to have the inside line for the turn, and unfortunately that's probably going to put Bond in a bad position. He's going to try a bit of a switchback maybe. No, he's dropped back too far there, so good job, Brock Schaefer, up into the lead of this one with a couple of laps to go. And Ashley, I do know Stuart is very nice, and was probably trying to jump out of the way. I wasn't putting any blame on him. I'm just thinking that it's a hard one, and often in the sims too, it's hard to pick up where the other driver is. Sometimes they balk left, and so you get out of the way to the right, and all of a sudden you've had an accident. So definitely not putting blame on there, but interesting to watch on the replay what happened. Miles with it was quite a late dive too, which you can find is something that can catch out the people you're lapping. If you do that late dive, sometimes it's better just to hang on the outside and hope that they just lift and let you through. Righto, we need to break Brock's streak. That's what Zach's saying in the chat. And Zach, unfortunately, writing messages in the chat and not racing the car. As I see you're out of this one, mate. We get the white flag now, so Schaefer is going to come around. One more lap to go. Let's quickly find any other battles. Dixon's in a bit of a battle here with Collins for P7. Let's see if he can do something about this on the last lap. We've also got Anderson in a battle with Yates and Mongra as well in that little battle. So we might ride on board down this straightaway with the M8. It's not going to be able to catch the supercar down here. No way, Jose. And yeah, I think Dixon will probably have to settle behind the supercar unless he can get the move down in the tightest section, possibly over Lukey Heights, and get it done through the final part of the lap. But right down the field, we've got Rob Bowden's in a battle as well with Carroll. And who else have we got down there? Ran has dropped back to 20th spot. Jaden Sweeney, give him a bit of a shout out in the Ferguson Group media car as well. He's up 12 spots into 19. That's a great effort by Jaden, and doing a really good job. So congratulations. Here is Brock, not long to go in this lap. We'll give him some airtime as the race leader. And don't forget, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a little bit of a break, and then we're going to go into that big 50k plate, which will be a fantastic race too. And then stick around for the end of this broadcast, being the final race of this series. We're going to have a great chat with some of the drivers and definitely the organisers. So here is your man coming home to take the checker flag, and does a fantastic job, doesn't he? So it is Brock Schaefer. We'll hang on now on this shot, and we'll see Adam Neal at the moment. He's going to come home in P2. I'm not sure what happened to Bond. He's dropped back a few spots. And there is Neal taking the line now. And good job by him. Ellenbogen's going to come home in P3. There is Kurt Bond coming home in P4 now. And I'm not sure what happened to Bond. He's actually out of it, so Bond's gone. We'll have to see if we can pick up what happened if he had an incident. He went off track somewhere, so there you go. And that's the end of this one, folks. As they come over the line, I will quickly go to a replay shortly, and I do have Miles Bond going off track there, but I'm not sure if he had a crash or... let's go to a quick replay and have a quick look. So looking at Miles Bond now and see why he dropped back. He was running right up the top there, and he just ran off the circuit. I think he's out of fuel. It sounds out of fuel, unless he had an incident earlier on. Let's just take it back a little bit and have a look. Oh, he's definitely out of fuel by the sounds of it. So let's put it in real time and have a listen. So we're right on board. There you go. So he ran out of fuel, Bond. That's really unfortunate, isn't it? So we'll get the race results for you up on the screen in a second. But nothing could hold back this man, Brock Schaefer, winning this final race of the season. But don't go anywhere. We've got a special event coming up straight after this one. So good job indeed. And weaving for fuel. Yeah, I don't know if it works, actually. It's something they'd probably have to test. You know, in a real race car, if you run out of fuel, you try and get a bit of extra pickup by weaving around. And Schaefer's going to come down here and finish on the line. No, he doesn't. Kicks him out of the service. So there you go. They're all kicked out, and we're getting set now to get ready for this next race. But we are going to have a short warm-up. Hopefully we can have a chat to Ran during this time. He's in the room with me. G'day, Ran. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. How was that?
Mate, it was exciting. It was, as always, the racing was really good. I know there was a few incidents in there, but I didn't have nearly as many alerts come up in iRacing for incidents and crashes. So definitely good racing down the field. How did you go?
Look, I did well. I was into the top 10 at one point, but unfortunately the pit stops killed me because we've got to take tyres each time, and unfortunately I'm not one of the quick guys in the vet. So I'm sort of like doing the same sort of lap times as the guys in the Z4, you know, most of the guys in the Z4s and stuff, and they didn't have to take tyres, but it's how it goes. And yeah, I'm just stoked that I got through it. I didn't crash. That was my first thing. I didn't want to come off, and just tried to race a clean race. And so I'm pretty happy, you know. What about 19th? So top 20, that's a start.
Nah, good job, mate. Now, we're going into a 50k plate race now. Tell us a little bit about that for anyone that's new to sports sedans and probably doesn't know what this is, because I actually had to go look it up myself, but it's actually quite a famous thing that you guys do in the real series.
Yeah, look, it's been going... Look, I can't tell you when it started. I'm sure the guys are screaming at me for not knowing that, but I didn't research it. I just know that when I got into sports sedans, it was one of those things... The first meeting I went and watched the guys at when I wanted to get into the category was the 50k plate, and it's just one of those ones that the guys want to win. They really want to win it. Trust me, like Michael Robinson, for example, has won it a number of times, and I know that he uses that against some of the other lads. And like someone like Dean Cam is still trying to win it. He's won the state championship multiple times and so many races, but the 50k plate eludes him, and I know he'd be like, oh, whatever, I don't care, but he wants to win it. And you know, Tomasi's won it. And the big highlight for me was when he's going to kill me. But basically, in a WRX, he won the 50k plate against Robbo because it was raining. So
yeah, right.
A floor pan car. So it was amazing. But yeah, I speak to him all the time, but I'm having a brain moment where I can't remember.
That's all right.
Yeah. So.
No, it was good, mate, and that was good action. I'm looking forward to this. I'm actually a bit sad that it's only 12 laps because even that 20 lapper there went by so quickly.
Yeah, look, that was, yeah, I was, I'm glad it wasn't too long, to be honest. That was a hard race, actually, so, yeah.
Track conditions, what's the track like?
the track's quite grippy, to be honest. I'm finding it all right. I think it's gripped up pretty well. I was a bit nervous that we wouldn't have much grip in that first race because we didn't do much of a practice or a qualifying. But the track feels good. We're also as far as the back end thing, we're doing a lot less comms in this race, and I found that worked a lot better. We're trying to take it to the real thing where you can't talk to the other driver that's passing you and stuff. So I think it'd be interesting to see the wash up after the race when we have a chat. But from my end, it worked really, really well, and I was really proud of all the guys for staying off the comms. And we did a deliberate no first lap chat, because that's where all the action happens and people get a bit heated. So we wanted to bring that down and really push that it's a community thing, it's for the class, it's to show sports sedans, the best points of them, and to leave the aggro behind.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And I've done a bit of iRacing, and I know that having the comms can be hugely distracting. So that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, look, it didn't worry me too much, but I've just noticed in that race how much it helps. So some of the guys, we said, look, if you want to say something, we've got, you've got hotkeys so that it can say pass left or pass right that we see on screen, and that's probably all. I found that worked really well. So I'll be interested to hear what everyone else's feelings were about it. But I thought it was much better, much more realistic, and that's what we're trying to create for the viewers, but also for us drivers, is to try and give us that experience. And I should say, I've been speaking to Tony Ricciardello, and he has got all his equipment now. And
awesome.
He was going to try for tonight, but he's new to iRacing and sim racing. Even though he's an 11-time sports sedan champion, he's not used to racing on sims. So he didn't want to jump in straight away. He wants to work up to it. So we'll get him into some practices over the coming couple of weeks, and he'll be out for the next season. Sounds
good, mate. Now, I just had a funny comment in the chat. Coulson's wheel, I think, fell off in that last race. So there you go. So he's.
I did notice a bit of carnage around the place. I was just happy I wasn't involved. I did give Woodman a bit of a tap, but it was unintentional. He didn't come off, so I was happy about that, because I wouldn't want to face him if I gave him a punt off. It got a bit tight there, but the racing around me was really fair, and no one was yielding, but no one was blocking either. Everyone was just racing hard, and that's what we want to see. Not just letting people through, just race hard but race clean.
Oh, for sure, man. And from our end, it looks great, and I try and cover as many battles as I can right through the field. I know it's a bit, when some people watch it back, some of the drivers will watch back and see themselves not covered as much. I do try and cover everyone, but like as we go through the field and look for battles, there was some really tight scraps going on, like down in 8th spot, then go right back to 15th. There was another tight battle going on, and that's what's really good about this series, is right through the field, and I can probably go back into the 20s and 30th position and find even battles back there.
Yeah, for sure, and that's exactly what real sports sedans is like. There is a little bit of, some people complain, that it's not as tight as supercars and things like that, and I think they need to understand it's different. Supercars is fantastic, it's its own beast, but sports sedans, the cars are not even. They're built by guys generally in their sheds. Some are professionally built. Some are professionally built in their sheds. They're very talented and knowledgeable engineers that build them, but they're different. So you'll find that there'll be a race up the front, there'll be a race in the middle, there'll be a race down the back, and I've found when I've raced in the series, I haven't been fortunate enough to be up the very pointy end. I have got I think a 5th once, and that was because some people fell off, and that's part of sports sedans as well, is that they're highly stressed machines, and so we always say get in that last race and you got a half a chance of a good top 10 result, because the cars do break, unfortunately, because they are maxed out. So I'm glad that that's happening, and there's battles all through it. And if people are a bit upset they're not being seen, I suppose they've just got to try and get in some battles more, maybe back it up into the guys behind, or get a little bit quicker.
That's it. Now, it was John Lawson that was the WRX driver. Ashley's just pointed out to us on the chat.
Kill me. Thank you for pointing that out.
That was Ash. Ashley actually did so.
Well, he's like, you're an idiot, right? Look, I love John, and everyone that knows me, I don't always remember everything. I'm trying to do so many things at once, so I do apologise, John, because he's a legend, and that was one of the highlights of recent years in sports sedans. Him in a WRX floor pan sports sedan, barely a sports sedan, it's not that modified, and he won the 50k plate against the big boys because it rained and it started to dry, and they started to catch him, but he just kept at it, and look, man, not many people win 50k plates, so John will always have that over us.
Very good. Now, 10-minute warm-up now, so we've only got a couple of minutes left, is that right?
Yeah, I extended it a bit long because I thought that we'd need a break, and I thought we'd want to chat. So
Definitely, mate.
originally it was going to be 5 minutes, so they'll probably be all wondering why it's 10, but probably thankful.
No, we sort of need the time to chat, because I know how flat out you are, and one of the hardest things for you is doing all the organising and then just jumping straight back into drive again, which is probably costing you a few positions, to be honest. But that's part of the sacrifice of doing what you do, right?
Yeah, look, as much as I want to be up the front, I don't like being, not one of the quick guys, but I've got personal ideas and goals that I want to reach, and that's the first things, and that's, for example, do a clean race, and I always say to the guys that aren't super fast, I'm like, race clean, you'll get spots, stay on the track.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Miles is in the green room. Shall I drag him in for a quick chat as well?
Yeah, drag him in.
Miles, we'll just drag you in for a quick chat as well. How are you going tonight, mate? You had a good race there, but it looks like you ran out of fuel on the last lap.
I did, yeah, that's my thing. That's what I do. My followers expect it. So what actually happened was I built a setup earlier in the week, and we had a different fuel load then. And then we worked out that it wasn't going to be enough, so we jacked it up. And when I'd saved my setup with that particular fuel load, so I actually started with about 6 litres less than I needed. So yeah, it was a shame. I worked it out obviously on my first stop, so I spent half the race fuel saving, which is why my pace dropped off. But I thought I'd be up there, and couldn't drag it to the end. Finished about half a lap, well, not even half a lap.
Yeah, you're definitely on for a podium, and then we saw you weaving around trying to pick up a little bit of extra fuel out of the bottom of the tank. Does that actually work in iRacing?
Oh look, I don't know. What does, what doesn't?
I haven't found it does. I just stop.
I feel like I'm more just taking frustration out of my wheel, I think, more than trying to pick up a bit of fuel. But you would expect these modern cars to have pretty good fuel systems.
Yeah, true.
I finished that race with less than a litre.
Wow.
So, and I filled fully. So Miles gave us very tight boundaries to. I actually thought I wasn't going to. I was like, do we have enough fuel in the tank to finish this race on full tanks? But yeah, just.
Yeah, it was tight, and I obviously overdid it. But I came out of the gates like a bull and had a good start, and looked like there was a fair bit of battle going on behind us. So I'm keen to look at it, but. We do have a championship winner. I know that's definitely been confirmed, but second, third and fourth are all so close that it's going to come down to bonus points for incidents, and we won't know that till after the session.
Wow.
Well, I think we've got a race now, Miles.
You do.
We do.
Go get yourselves ready and have a good one, guys, and we'll chat to you after. We'll have a good interview after.
Thanks, Luke.
All right, see you guys. So that was Miles and Ran, our series organisers, just having a quick chat there. I'm going to put Miles back into the other room for him so he doesn't have to. He's got a million things to do as well. And yeah, we're going to go live for this final race of the series. This one doesn't count for points. This is just for fun. It's a 50k plate race and 12 laps around Phillip Island. And it's going to be great, isn't it? Just to see these guys now let off a little bit of steam and not worry too much about where they finish. This is all just about having fun. But, every race driver, they still want to finish at the front, don't they? So get set to go. And just looking at the chat there, it's been great. Thank you for being involved with this one. And this whole series actually has been great every week. I'm going to miss it for 2 weeks. We're going to have 2 weeks off, and then we come back for what will be a 7-round series. So won't that be fantastic? Let's get the grid up for you on the screen right now. And for this final one, this will be Brock Schaefer for the 50k plate, taking us from pole position with Adam Neal right behind him. Peter Ellenbogen in P3 with Bond, Markowski, Dixon, Collins. Then we've got Pickett, Monga, Anderson rounding out your 10. Off the 6th row, we'll have Yates and Bowden getting away from position 12. Over the page, we've got Carroll, Dexter, Smith, Rode, Anderson up in 16th, then Rand McClurkin back in 17th, Miles Bond in 18th, running out of fuel unfortunately in that final race before. Dion Phillips in 19, Woodman, Sweeney, Don, Dempsey and Brown round out your 24. One more page to go. We've got Henwood, Scott, Coulson, Rodriguez, Jackson down in 29th, Whitworth in 30th, Blattman, Cam, and rounding out the whole field there, we've lost one. It's Philip Crompton. So I'd say it's Coulson that we've lost, is it? That his wheel fell off in that last race. So unfortunately, Kevin has dropped off the timing board. No, Kevin's out there apparently. So there you go. Kevin is out there. So was it Kevin? I think one of the Coulsons had their wheel fall off. So it all happens in sim racing, and actually I've seen that happen in real life. It was an F1 driver, some classic footage where he went over a curb and the wheel came off in his hands. Not what you'd want to have happen when you're in an F1 car, that's for sure. Righto folks, we're getting set to go live here. It is a formation lap, and then we will go down that big long Gardner straightaway, and all the power will be unleashed for this final 12 lap race in our sports sedan series. And it hasn't been good. Jump on the chat now and just you know, back me up on that. I think these guys have put on a fantastic show. This is our 5th broadcast with them now, and I tell you what, I didn't know any of them really much before we started doing this, and now I've just started to really work out their personalities. Like I say, I'm going to miss it for a couple of weeks, but then we come straight back and do it for 7 rounds straight after that. And some great drivers as we just watch them filter through, and all those cars looking good indeed, putting a lot of effort in. And Shane's just saying he's using VR too, so the steering wheel came off and he was in VR. That would have absolutely been a shock to the system. And I tell you what, it probably played some tricks on his mind too, because I've used a bit of VR, and when I did use VR, I ended up feeling seasick for about 2 weeks. It is absolutely amazing, but you've got to have the right stomach for it. Righto, let's get set to go racing here. Schaefer's going to lead us away from Neil in P2. Let's ride on board, listen for the power to come down. And we're going to get set here for a huge start here. This National Sports Sedan E-Series getting set to go live for the final time here. Shed a tear with me, because how good has it been? Brocky Schaefer, can he win his final one here and do some victory donuts for us down the main straight? The revs are about to rise, and then we're going to go green flag racing here. There it is now, so we're underway. Bit of a push and shove. We've got someone around in the back play. There's a crash. This is going to be carnage behind, because we've got cars all over the place. I think it was Anderson dropping right back. It's still going on in the mid-pack. We'll try and get to an overhead. We've got cars everywhere, folks. This is going to be possibly a safety car. I'm not sure if they're going to call a safety car or not, but Cam has been taken out big time. We'll go back and have a look at the replay in a second. Up the front, though, oh, Bond's off the track too, so Bond off the track. We've got Schaefer still leading it, but oh, Bond's gone for the big cut across there. Unfortunately, I think he's been punted off, and he's gone way across the grass. And wow, we'll try and figure out what happened at the start there. Let's go back to a replay right now, folks, and we'll try and work it out. And I was expecting a little bit of a better start here. We'll go to the overhead and we'll try and just back it up. I think it was Pickett involved there, and you can see Dixon getting turned around. From then on, it was just mayhem. There was cars on their roof. We'll try and just get that camera angle to pick that up. We'll take it back a little bit and see if we can pick up where it all went wrong. But wow, we see the start. They get underway nicely, and then we'll slow it down a little bit as the mayhem started to unfold here. And you can see it was Pickett involved in the mid-pack there. And just there on your screen, folks, then you see Dixon get turned around. I'm trying to get a good shot of this on a good camera angle from our pit lane camera. And then from then on, it's just absolute mayhem. You can see Dixon sliding past the camera there sideways. And someone was up riding the fence. Look at that, upside down, passes on the fence. Action aplenty. There was cars going all sorts of places. You don't want to see cars on the first lap of a race. Oh my goodness, what a start. Hopefully you enjoy those pictures, folks. Let's get back to live though, because it is Schaefer out in front from Neil. We've heard that story over and over again, haven't we? He's just an absolute weapon, this kid. And looking back through the field, it's Neil Ellenbogen, Markowski, Bond, Carroll doing a nice job up in P6 as they slide through here. Then we got Bowden Monga. He's up there into P7. Sorry, up into P8, up one spot. We've got Dexter up 5 spots in P9. So great job indeed. And wow, I'm still getting over that start. That was interesting to say the least. But good start once again by Schaefer with a 3-second lead. Let's go look for some battles. It's Neil Yates here in a bit of a battle with Dexter. Dexter's just in front of him at the moment in the Z4. Yates tracking him down though. Yates will try and put a move in here as we go around there, getting the job done, hopefully, through turn 8, up over Lukey, and no, he's not going to be close enough this time around. We'll try and get a nice close shot there. And I do apologise, the camera's looking a little bit shaky there for some reason. We'll sort that out for you very soon. And yeah, so at the moment, Dexter back there in P10. He's got his hands full. There is Monga just behind him as well. So we're just going to find out. We've got the chat going off as well. Loving that start. Crashes all over the place. Remember, we are on Twitch, YouTube, and also Facebook tonight. So we've got it restreaming through all the platforms. And yeah, look at this. It is Brock Schaefer once again in the Phoenix window tinting car, 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. And he's pretty hard to catch, isn't he? get this. The camera's just playing up a little bit for us at the moment. We might just do a quick refresh on iRacing. So just bear with me, folks. And we can try and bring you some better close-up action. Oh, we've worked it out. There you go. So unfortunately, there was a button mapped on there. So, yep, doing 10 things at once here. Lucas Esports, one-man show. Hopefully you're loving the coverage. And Adam Neal up in P2. Let's get a shot of him because he's running at the moment where he started. But the key is that he's still there, and he was able to avoid all that mayhem at the start as they come over. You'll just have a look back to your positions. Ellenberg and Markowski doing a good job in 4th. Then you've got Kurt Bond, the first of the... bit of a move there. Did you see that? That was Carroll and Monga having a good battle. Let's follow this because Monga will try and put a run around here. Look at the Carroll's car has been in the wars. That was from the start. Possibly him that was upside down at the start there in the Mustang too. We saw someone going upside down. Surely not. And no, it was someone else that went over. Dylan Whitworth, unfortunately, had a crash. Jade Sweeney's had a crash too. And Jaden was doing so well. He had a huge race in the first one. I think he finished probably his highest position so far in this series in the last race. But unfortunately, in this one tonight, he's dropped right back with that incident earlier on. Okay, and Jaden, though, is in a bit of a battle here. We've got that's Pickett. Pickett's lost half his car, and that's all from the start of this race. He should be able to repair some of that in the pit stop, and they will have to do a pit stop in this 50k plate. So let's hope he can get that all fixed up and looking nice again. But at the moment, it looks like it's been around a couple of laps of Nowra Speedway on a Saturday night, and looking very bent indeed. So, wow. Pickett back in 13th, not where he wants to be. He's got Sweeney, who I just talked about before, who dropped back, but he's actually doing quite well. He's up there in P14, up 7 spots. So possibly that incident, I've got an incident showing with him on the board there, but possibly that was just a tiny tap. As Woodman, who we saw, had a bit of an incident in that first race, just getting in now behind Sweeney, and Brody Scott going side by side with Henwood here. Dixon's being able to find his way back now. We're right on board with Dixon as we head down. And he's being able to just get a few spots back after that earlier incident that saw him turned around at the start. But he is down 12 spots from where he started. Just watch his ability to get through here, probably around the inside of the Aston Martin. He's going to maybe send it down here. No, he's not. He's going to think better of it. They fan out 3 wide. And you've also got Kevin Coulson doing a good job hanging in there as well. Stewie Brown's just in the back as well. Let's right on board with Stewart and watch him get the power down onto the main straight. Oh, we got someone up ahead. Oh, and he just avoids it, and that puts him off the road too. So unfortunately, that was avoiding action, and that has put him into the wall. So it just happens that quick, doesn't it? Stuart Brown avoiding someone else's incident. We'll go to a quick replay and watch that, folks. And he was doing everything right there to try and stay out of trouble. The car in front just got in the way as it went across the racetrack, and then from then on, Stewie, he's a bit of a passenger and goes out and hits that wall, unfortunately. So unlucky for him. That can happen so quickly, kind of, in racing. And before you know it, you're in the wall. He did so well to avoid it too. Yeah, wow. Ashley just saying lucky they got 2 weeks off to fix the cars. That's right. They'll need a bit of time. And where are you, Ashley? How come you're doing all this chatting and you're not out there driving? What's going on, man? And I'm just looking through the field as Rand just comes into the pits there. Rand going very slowly indeed on his pit entry, possibly with an issue with the car. He's going very slow, so not sure what's happened there with Rand as we pick up Ellenbogen coming through the second to last corner on lap 6. So we're about halfway through now. Schaefer's got about the whole straight ahead as a lead, and then we're looking at P2 just coming past our camera right now. That is Neil, and then if we'll go back to live, sorry. That was Neil, then Ellenbogen not far behind as we just skip through these cars. There's Markowski not far behind him. Got to go a fair way back then to Kurt Bond in P5. Carroll back in 6, Dexter in 7, Yates just behind him, actually side by side now. Bowden and Collins both in the pit lane. So there is Bowden just coming in for his compulsory pit stop. And wow, it's all happening here, isn't it? You just see these cars filtering through, and Neil, Ellenbogen, Markowski. That's probably our closest battle at the moment, and they're pretty spread out, I've got to be honest with you. So just looking through, Yates and Dexter though, they're still having a scrap. So that's just popped up on my timing screen. Miles saying my car is toast. So that's bad news for Miles on the chat, just letting us know that his car's kaput after that earlier incident. And Yates here still on the back of Carroll. Let's ride on board in this big... Oh, he's going to go. Thank you, Shane, for the stars. I appreciate it, man. All that goes straight into supporting the network, and doing everything I can at the moment to lift our quality each race in, race out. We've got a few new features tonight. And these guys are driving so well, aren't they? I wish we could do 100 laps around here tonight. I'm going to be sad when this is over. Yates doing a good job here. He's going to try and send it down. Lucky he didn't touch the grass there. He's going to have to pull it up because the Mustang's going to just pull across in front of him as he ride back on board. The supercar's really got to dull the power. You can see the Corvette gets the power down much better through the exit there, and they're both going to go into the pits together. So cool as a cucumber there, Mr. Yates, taking into the pit lane, getting onto the limiter, slowing it right down. Markowski up into P2 now. Kurt Bond in P3, Dexter in P4, and Schaefer in the pit lane, folks. So there you go, your race leader now in the pits, and we'll just pan around so you can see him there. He's also got Ellenbogen, who's just going to jump him in the pit lane, so good job there. And we're watching Ellenbogen leave the pits in front of Schaefer, so good job indeed, as Dixon also just comes screaming past on the racing line. So good pit stop phase there. And that got him out there, back into the lead, but I'm not sure for how long, because Schaefer, super quick, isn't he, as he comes down through the turn. And he's already back onto the back of him, so he gets through there really quickly, Schaefer. You don't get very long to lead a race when he's around. But at the moment, our race leader is Adam Neal. So watch this for Schaefer. He's going to put a move on down here. I'm sure he's going to go to the inside. And let's see if he gets it done. He does. So Ellenbogen, pretty smart there just to not fight that too hard. But let's go back up to the lead of this race. And Dexter, he's doing a good job too. He's up 10 spots in P4, running all by himself at the moment. You can see the gap between himself and third place. And he's got a few lap cars, Rodriguez and McLurkin, behind him. So he's running really nicely on lap 7 to possibly get a podium here, as Adam Neal in the pits now. Markowski's just gone in the pits. Kurt Bond's going to take over the lead of this race. So here we go. Let's ride on board and have a listen to this as he goes down the pit lane, just saying g'day to everyone in the pits. And he's got the whole track to himself at the moment. And we pan around and have a look at his attitude into the corner here, tipping it in nicely, taking a little bit of curb. You can just hear him working the throttle down the gears. We'll get the dashboard up for you so you can see what sort of speed they're doing. 130 k's an hour in third gear, and we'll get that up on the screen. There you go. So just watch the speed of this as he's leading the race now, up over 220 kilometers an hour, 230, 240 k's an hour. Now what we might do, folks, is jump on board with Samuel Collins in a similar spot of the racetrack and just watch what sort of speed he's getting out of the car. Down the main straight here, watch this thing climb up towards 270 kilometers per hour, 267, 275 kilometers an hour, 280 k's an hour we just ticked over. So a little bit more speed in these supercars, and that's the straight line advantage that we talk about week in, week out. And who else have we got battling here? Markowski's still battling hard. He's got past Smith now. He's just behind him. But Markowski, Ellenbogen up the road a fair way. I've got to say it's 4 seconds. But Kurt Bond, he's got a 21-second gap at the moment. Now, I'm pretty sure he does not have to pit. So that will be very interesting if he can come home from there. And I'll get the graphics back up on the screen so you can see where your favourite drivers are, folks. But it is Bond, Ellenbogen, McCoskey, Smith, Schaefer at the moment. Watch out for Brock, though. We saw in that last one, he just appeared, didn't he? A lap to go. He's 29 seconds off the lead at the moment. But like we said in the last race, he just appeared. I didn't even think he was going to be close to a podium. All of a sudden, he was challenging for the lead of the race. So we're sticking with Bond here for half a lap and giving him some credit for driving this car so well. Ellenbogen 20 seconds off the lead now. Schaefer 29 seconds still, and Schaefer's back in the pits. So is this a second stop for him or his compulsory stop? I think this is a second unscheduled stop. So interesting. Oh, you got some info. Miles, is it? Hey, Miles, how are you?
Yeah, how you going? Well, while I'm sitting back watching the guys spin spanners on my piece of toast, so there was a big battle for second place. Adam Neal, Brock, Schaefer was in there, and Colin Smith, and the three of them tangled pretty heavily out of turn 2, and they all went off.
Oh, really? Well, I'm trying to find that incident. It did not show up on my timing screen, but I will just have a quick... If you just want to talk us through what happened, I'll see if I can quickly find it.
So it would have been last lap. So I think...
was Monger involved in that as well?
No, not Monger, but Smith had come through down the main straight and Adam rejoined directly behind him, and Brock was behind that. So the three of them all went into turn 1 and 2, sort of line of stern, and obviously the GT3's got a lot of bite compared to the Caddy, and as as Colin Smith was pushing wide, Adam sort of stuck his nose and got up the inside on the exit, and they were side by side, but they've just come together and sort of turned each other off the track, and it's spat Colin back into Brock.
Oh, really?
Coming through on the other side, so the three of them all, I think they all ejected because they were pretty damaged.
Looking at the replay right now, mate, I did find it, and we're watching that. We actually didn't see Adam Neal got sent off the track. It was actually the caddy that went across then and took Schaefer. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, so Adam and the caddy came together first, and that sent Adam off.
Yeah, right.
I hate to say it, he's my teammate, but I think he probably ran a little bit wide and could have given a bit more room. But I mean, it was racing. It was a racing incident for sure. But yeah, look at the lead that our man Kurt Bond's got. Absolutely stunning. Like, he's just pumping perfect lap after lap, and it looks like he's going to take it out.
For sure, mate. Now we're just going to quickly look at that crash once more, but from Schaefer's point of view, there's not much you could really done there. We're just watching it in full speed here, and yeah, the caddy just comes back across, and he might not have even known he was there, and we just see the aftermath of that now. So really unfortunate in the end. Crazy.
Yeah, shame. That was going to be an awesome battle, I think, for the second, well, probably potentially for the win with Adam and Brock as well. They might have got up to Kurt and had a battle, but you know, we knew the caddy had not an upper hand, but had a really good shot at this race. If they could get to their top speed and manage to hold that for the entire race, they were going to be a very good chance of winning, and Kurt's proving that that's the case.
Definitely, mate. Now we're on lap 10 of 12. I'm just looking through the field. Pickett's having a bit of a battle still with Collins. Smith and Neal, I think it is pretty close together, but Kurt Bond, that's a huge lead. No one's going to get close to him, I don't think, now. Ellenbogen's going to be pretty happy with second if he can hang on to that as well.
Yeah, Peter will be stoked with that. I mean, Kurt's been fast since day one of this series. I think he's had a fair bit of time in here, and he's got this car really dialed in, but he's still significantly faster than when we were here last time, I'm pretty sure, 5 rounds ago. And same with Peter. I mean, those guys are now 27 and 28s, and I think they were doing 30 and 31s last time we were here. So it just goes to show what the series has done for some of these guys, being able to work with the others on setups and doing all the testing every night. It's really pulled everyone along, so it's great to see them all working together.
Yeah, for sure, mate, and definitely those extra practice sessions are helping guys get their speed up.
Yeah, look, we've had a practice session every night, and a lot of guys are doing every session. Some aren't. I didn't for the first few, and it showed. And then for this one, I came back and said, I want to do a couple of them and put the time in. And I worked with the other GT3 guys to make sure we found a nice setup. And you can see it. You can see the GT3s getting up the front. So we came out the box faster than we expected, and that was nice. And it was purely due to all the laps that we put in throughout the week.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're seeing Pickett now put the move finally on Collins, but Collins gets straight back through. So these guys are having a great scrap in the supercars for P7. So back and forth. We are on lap 11, so only a lap to go after this. It's happened so quickly. And man, like I was saying before to the chat, I'm going to be sad when this is over. I've loved doing this for the last 4.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's been super hectic. I mean, it all happened pretty quick at the start as well. We sort of had an idea and started putting it out there, and then I came on board, and then we were running a series, and it's all happened extremely quick, and it's still really in its infancy and going through some teething issues, but we're generally getting it pretty tidied up now, and the basis of it's really good. I mean, these guys are having an awesome scrap because their tyres are probably getting a bit squirmish, and as you can see, Colin's big slide there coming onto the out to the final corner. They're probably both going to back it in onto the straight, but the driving standards are slowly lifting. I don't know what happened at the start of that race. It was pretty intense from my view.
Bit of mayhem there, yeah.
Yeah. And look, it's not a championship race. I think everyone approached it like that, and that probably just goes to show that that's what sometimes iRacing's normally like. But when it comes to the championship, the guys are, they're wanting to do well, and they're wanting to have good results for every round. Or Josh,
Pickett's gone. Yeah, let's go back to the front though, because only about 3 corners to go for Kurt Bond, and we're going to give him a bit of airtime here because he's going to come home and take his first win, isn't it, for this first season of the National Sports Sedan E-Series. So he's going to be absolutely stoked. Hopefully he knows the what we asked him to go around to the line and park it up. But we're just watching him now come around the final corner and give him a wrap. Mr. Kurt Bond comes home in P1. And surprising win there, because in an underpowered car, that's a great effort.
That's a huge effort, yeah. And, he's obviously kept his nose clean and just done exactly what he needed to do. But he's been fast all season, and, he keeps, it's not going to get, the caddy's not going to get up the front. But we said, hey, it's going to come. You know, you're just going to have to string a whole race together, because that's what the other guys are doing, and he's done it now. And congrats to him. You know, great win.
Ellenbogen coming home in P2, flashing the headlights, absolutely stoked, I reckon, with that. And as we watch Markowski come home in third, Neil just crossing the line now in P4. Good job for him as well. He's going to have Smith in the end. He's going to get home nicely there in fifth. Carroll in sixth. Collins easily getting home in the end after Pickett fell out of that final battle, unfortunately. But good job right down the pack there. Monga, Yates, Woodman also coming across the line now. So, man, just good racing right down through the field, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's been good, and even looking at those results, you know, guys like Shane Woodman, I think round one he was pretty much at the back, so, you know, that's leaps and bounds for Shane. Obviously he steers very well in real life, and his beam is an absolute machine, and he's coming to terms with the sim now, and he's starting to find a lot of pace, and that's happening, you know, all through the field. So there's some guys that have been on the sim for a long time, like me, who's probably just showed their pace straight away, but there's also a lot that are still learning, and they're still they're getting better every single round. So, you know, I think next season's going to be an absolute doozy. I think it's going to be awesome.
Can't wait for it now. Thank you, Jeff, for the stars too. Quickly, while I just mentioned that on the broadcast, thank you. And we've got Kurt Bond just finishing up. He's actually going to the pit lane, so he's not going to stop out on the track or do any nice burnouts for us, unfortunately. But yeah, who else is out there? Ellenbogen has followed the regs. I think he's going to come around and stop on the grid for us. And we'll be able to get a shot of his car as he parks it up. And hopefully we get him in for a chat. Miles, can you see the guys in the green room yet? Any of them? Multitasking while they're driving?
Well, I'll be able to bring guys in. That's fine. Is Peter parked up now, is he?
Peter's just stopping on the start-finish line now, so we've got a shot of him just parking it up, which is good. Kurt's back in the... Oh no, Kurt's still coming around, so he's actually going to do another lap, I think. So, and we got Jason just pulling up to the pits. On the pit straight now. So he's just going to pull up next to Peter. So that's great. That looks fantastic. And hopefully we can get... we might have to wait for him. Kurt will just do a whole lap and come back around. Hopefully it doesn't spin him out of the session. So
that's cool.
Yeah, let's get him in for a chat anyway. Yeah. So I think we definitely get Peter and Jason in for a chat. They're parked up there on the grid now. And let's see who we can get first. Peter, P2, mate. Fantastic effort tonight. You've got to be absolutely stoked with that.
Cannot believe this, Luke. 3 weeks ago, I was a different sim racer to what this series has made me. I am so grateful.
Oh, mate, that was great. We can actually see the emotion in your driving as you cross the line there. And probably a big relief too. Was the heart rate going through the roof?
Absolutely. I mean, that's my kind of natural way. I push myself way harder than most people do, but I think that just in this environment, I've been given the opportunity to grow, and I'm just absolutely... I'm driving, and I cannot believe it's actually me driving the car. So I'm just so grateful and just so wrapped with everything. It's just awesome.
Awesome, mate. Now, don't go anywhere because we want to chat to you a little bit more. We've got our third place man. We will get to our winner in a sec because our third place man sitting on the grid, Jason Markowski. Great job, mate, to come home in P3. Well done.
Thank you very much, mate. It was a bit of a scary couple of moments there, but no, it was really good, man. Really liked the track, and the car was pretty strong. Yeah, enjoyed it quite a lot.
Awesome. Now, we've got our victor here, our race winner, Kurt Bond. How do you feel, mate? What a great job to take that one out.
Yes, thank you. I just want to thank Rupert for the setup. For once I didn't use baseline, and it sort of helped a bit, so thank you. I just stayed out of trouble.
And the car's looking good there sitting on the grid, mate. You actually bought all three of you, actually, I've got to say, all three of your cars pristine, not a mark on them by the looks of things.
Thanks, we try. We don't want to pay for repairs. But, yeah, no, yeah.
100%. I'm with Jace.
Oh, it's fantastic. Now, anything you want to say, Kurt? Do you want to thank any sponsors or anything as well? Because we'll give you a little bit more time being the winner of this race. But is anyone you want to thank in particular? It's been a great series.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Ran and the Sports Sedan series. It's fantastic racing. You know, really enjoy it from a lot of other leagues. So it's been excellent, great racing, very close. Even the practice sessions before the race is like really fun. Everyone's helping each other. It's a very community-orientated group, and just makes a pleasure to race with everyone. It's absolutely awesome. So I appreciate everyone, and thank you everyone that's helped along the way.
Definitely, and also the sponsors getting involved week in, week out to help, you know, cover the cost of broadcasting and all that sort of stuff. It's a huge thanks to them as well, and you're part of that as well, Jason.
Yeah, we've got to try and keep it going, I know it's tough times out there, but it's racing, everyone's at home enjoying it, we'll get to race with everyone, have a lot of fun, and the lead up to a race night it's outstanding,
Nah, fantastic. And Miles and Ran, who are both in the room with me, I'll throw it over to you guys to do a little bit of talking now, because you've been instrumental in putting this series together. You contacted me, what it feels like, not long ago. It was only 4 weeks ago, and said, can we do this and broadcast it? And we've done it. We've got the series done. And it's to your credit that you've been able to put this together so quickly and make it so professional and so good to watch. So I'll throw it over to Miles
I was going to say Miles can go.
All right. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And we've obviously had an absolute ton of positive feedback from mainly, the guys actually in the series, which is what it's all about. And the original idea, we'd never even, hadn't originally been considered that it would be broadcast and sort of gone to this level. But once Ran had put it out there to all the guys, the interest levels were just huge. And then by the time he sort of came to me with it, I said, man, this many guys on the grid and this caliber of, races and people, going to know some of these guys, and why aren't we displaying it? Because people are sitting at home with nothing to watch. It's a perfect opportunity to put on a bit of a show. And then, obviously PI happened at the first round, and huge amount of views, thousands. And we sort of went, wow, okay, well, that's even more than we expected. And then, the quality of the racing's been fantastic, and the production from your side has been fantastic. And we're continuing to work on all the smaller aspects to improve the whole show. And as we do that, obviously the interest is continuing to grow. So, we've just got an absolute queue of guys that are interested. We've got pretty much a full grid now with a huge state series, which is effectively our wait list, or our backup drivers that will eventually work their way through. And the under 2 litre sports sedan guys have got their own thing happening at the moment as well. Ram will go into it, but it's probably blown up bigger than what he originally anticipated, which is why I jumped on to help him. But it's been fantastic, and a couple little things here and there, like any series would have, where there's disagreements. There always will be. We can't all see eye to eye absolutely perfectly, but as a whole, we're all chatting about it, and we're all sort of coming to grips with the best way forward, and everyone seems to be enjoying the way we're doing it.
For sure, mate. We're looking at the replay of the start, the incident that happened over the start finish line, and it was a massive crash. I'm trying to pick up who it was. The 96 car was flying through the air, the caddy down the straight there. And was that what you were involved in, Miles? Were you involved in that incident? Were you?
Yeah.
You couldn't get away from that?
I obviously started near the back because I failed to finish the first race. So, and I thought, you know what, turn one, I'll back off. I didn't even get that far. I don't even think I hit the start line. I literally just got an absolute roadblock. Yeah, well, Ran and I were next to each other, so we probably made love in the crash, but...
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I just got, I'm surprised. Yeah, it was chaotic. I can see a picture up in the chat. It looks like Dixon in the orange BMW. I think it's Josh and Sam. So I think Josh was going between them, and Jason Dixon has tried to come across. I don't know. It wasn't going to work. Whatever was happening there.
I think Joshy Pickett got a little bit sideways too, and that then pushed him across. He got a bit unsettled into the side of Collins, and then Dixon went across into the side of the Z4, which sent him ragdolling. And from then on, it was just I could see Miles. I can see Miles getting involved in that.
I can't see it.
I couldn't do much. I just sort of, I don't know. I just lost track of even what car I was hitting at that point.
Yeah, when you're spinning, you're just like, how many people are going to hit me? What's going to happen? And I must admit, I went into the pits because I thought, I'll have enough fuel to do the race if I pit now to get my damage fixed, and I was wrong. So I had to pit twice to have enough fuel. But it put me back with Rupert to have a battle with him. So I was, even though it was for the minor placings, we had a great battle, and that was actually quite exciting. So as we were talking about before, there's racing all through the field.
That's it. Now I'm also just going to bring up what was a special moment was the checker flag falling for the end of this race, and it was Kurt Bond that came home to take the checker flag. But I also want to pick up, I think we could hear in Peter's voice that he's pretty emotional, I think, about that. That's a good second place, and just him coming across the line as well.
I reckon, Luke, I found the biggest fault with iRacing. They haven't got the hand out of the window key.
That's it, yeah.
I think I dislocated my shoulder there, I tell you what.
Well, we're just watching you come across the line now, Peter, And the headlights were blazing, the headlights were flashing, and you looked very happy.
I was following you very good behind you there for a while.
No, you're good. Well, I think both Rupert and I were both like, where are we going to let him through? Because we're both battling, but it worked out all right. Rupert backed it up a little bit.
Amazing.
Thanks. I didn't know if I was going to get yelled at by you.
Please. It was really stunning. Luke, before you chuck us out, I just want to say to you as well that from the minute I got into this thing, and it's been like a 3-week fairy tale nightmare character builder all rolled into one. There's one constant that has been. There are a couple of constants, and I just want to say that but for the efforts of Ran and Miles, not only would this not exist, but it wouldn't have got to the level of just the most unbelievable community feel. We are out there, we are racing hard, giving each other really not a hell of a lot, but honestly most of the guys they're fair, they're clean, and off the scenes and behind the scenes there's so much goodwill going on, and I think that is so rare in motorsport generally, and certainly in sim racing. And I'd just like to add one more thing, is just to say that you also are absolutely next level when it comes to online streaming.
Thanks,
next level.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
agree with
that.
that as well, mate. It's fantastic to watch the race back and hear the commentary, so really well.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys. And I said earlier in the broadcast, sometimes I wish I could capture more of everyone's little battles. And I'm looking at ways. I'm going to bring a few extra people in probably and try and at least have someone who can watch through the 34 drivers that are out there, because I'm possibly focusing on 10 or 12 drivers at a time when I'm looking at my 4 different screens I look at. But yeah, there's just so much going on through the field, and sometimes I feel bad I miss those little battles. But yeah, it's a credit to everyone. They are racing so well, and it makes my job super easy.
No, you're doing great. I've watched the replays back every night, and you can't. You just. It's the same when I've done work with televising and covering real racing, and you can't cover everything. It's so hard, and I think it'd be even harder in this situation because you're by yourself. When I've been doing it, there's usually a team of guys that, like you said, are helping. So I think what you're doing is fantastic. Sure, we all want to be on the TV all the time because it is all about ourselves, but it's not. It's about the category, and I think that you do as good a job, if not better, than what you should be doing anyway. So I know that everyone's really happy and is stoked to share it with their friends and everything. And I just wanted to say also quickly, obviously this is. We can do this because the national sports sedans and also the big state are behind us. We started it with Chad. I started it, letting them know that we're doing it, and they weren't really sure about it, and that's fine because they don't know much about sim racing. But after a few rounds, they were blown away. So a big thank you to John Goulet and Michael Robinson from the Nationals. Also Phil, who races in the series, he's very instrumental in the Nationals, and they're all behind it. And also all the big state guys, Chaz, Annie, Robbo again, Craigie, Liam, all those guys. Sorry if I've left anyone out, but everyone's behind it. And DEA Performance, QP Lubes, and Kumo Tires, who all support us in the real series, which obviously is very expensive to support such categories. So thank you to all those people.
Fantastic, and well said, mate. I've just tried to show as many of the incident replays as I could, and there was a few of them at the start, but then it was clean racing from then on. And like I say, it's just great being involved with you guys. Big thank you. We're gonna have to wrap it up in a sec. I could talk all night with you guys. And who else have we got in the chat room? Do you want to throw it to anyone else?
Yeah, I brought a few guys in. Firstly, just to say congrats on the championship win to old Schaefer. So he's took it out pretty easy in the end. Really, he had that one terrible round, but he pretty much smoked it in the rest of the way. So he's just been up the front end in the league of his own, I think.
What do you got to say, Brock? Did you get your eyes covered at all tonight?
No, I didn't, but thanks to Random Miles putting it on, and obviously National Sports Sedans. It's just a huge privilege to be a part of it, and yeah, it's just been awesome.
No worries, well done, Brock. And I couldn't get Rob, but Rob, I think he's left the chat, but Rob landed himself in second, actually tied with Mr. Collins, who's in here, and only works on the count back for their race results that Sam takes out third by 1 point over Pickett. So
wow.
Pickett also had only a single incident in the 20 lap race that we had here tonight, and if he'd have not had that one single incident, he actually would have come third for the championship. So that's how tight it is, which is good, but well done, Sam.
Do you want to say
I think
anything,
he's there.
He's there, yeah.
Sorry, I got the
realise I was going to be in here.
Well, you get to have a quick chat, mate. You get to have a chat, Sam. You're up on the screen, so we're looking at your car. It was a bit dinged up. Looks a bit like it's been to a Parramatta Speedway event or something. But you got it home in the end. We had a good battle actually with Pickett we were watching, and Miles jumped into the comm booth and called a bit of that as well. But yeah, congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thanks for that. I was actually very surprised. I was, especially the first race, I had a pretty incident-free race. I just sort of kept out of trouble and did the best that I could. But the second race, I thought I caused the incident at the start, but I see on the replay I got sort of squeezed, and it wasn't actually my fault, so I felt a bit better about that. But that was a good series, and thanks for Ran and everyone else for organising it. Ran and Miles and Luke for broadcasting.
No, it's rad that you're part of it. I'm stoked that Sam races an awesome Sylvia, and so I was always stoked when I saw that his name came up that he was going to run with this, because I follow him online. He's a bit of a gun driver in real life, so thanks for being part of it, Sam.
Thanks for letting me, Ran.
Very good. Now, Ran, anything you want to say before we close it down for the evening and for a 2-week holiday?
Just thanks to everybody. I suppose we've thanked everybody. Thanks for Miles, especially for helping me out, and everybody who gives me advice and everything. It's great. And thanks to all the viewers. Thanks to you, Luke. Can't wait to bring you the next one. We've got National Sports Sedans next in 2 weeks. So we've got 2 weeks break. We come back with Nationals on Tuesday nights, State on Wednesday nights, which is actually getting close to being full. So we're going to have a full other grid of cars. And then also the 2-litre guys approached me, and I've put together a 2-litre series for them. So that'll actually be starting next week in the Audi GDOs. It'll be just a fixed series. So we've still got spaces for that as well. So lots of sports sedans on iRacing as it should be.
Epic, mate. Really, really good job. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and I'm looking forward to it already.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya. So that was a good chat there, and once again, congratulations, Kurt Bond, taking that win out from Peter Ellenbogen there in P2, and some great words from him. You could hear the emotion in his voice, how happy he was to come home, and these guys that are now racing sims, while they can't race their real cars, they're out there racing the sims, and the passion is just as strong, which is fantastic. And Jason Markowski coming home in third there. And I'll just run through the results there completely. So we had Neil in fourth, Smith Carroll, Collins, Monger, Yates, Woodman down in 10th, then Dempsey, Sweeney, good job by Jaden up in 12th there, Coulson, Kevin in 13th, and we had Dixon, Henwood, Pickett, Dexter and Scott in 18th. We'll go over the page quickly to see Tony Don, then Brown, McLurkin, which was Ran, Rodriguez, Crompton, Cam, Schaefer, Bowden, Jackson, Whitworth down in 28th, then Rhodes, Anderson, Blattman, Anderson, Bond and Phillips rounding out your 33 in that 50k plate there to finish off what was a fantastic series. I've got to say a massive thanks once again to all the boys there racing in this National Sports Sedan E-Series. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you. My name's Luke, it's Lucas Esports. I'm bringing you a lot of action. We've got some huge things coming up, which I'll announce very soon on the channel. But I guess what, I'm really looking forward to 2 weeks time and jumping in with these guys again for what will be season number 2. Tomorrow night, come check us out. We're doing the Legends with the Legira Legends series. That's at Phillip Island too, and we've also got another race at Phillip Island. So we're doing double header at Phillip Island tomorrow night. We have the New South Wales Excel series taking their real racing online for a series at Phillip Island as well in the MX5. So that will be exciting too. Right, I've got to close it out for there, but a massive thanks once again, and a congratulations to Kurt Bond taking out that last race of the season. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks for the Sports Sedans. Until next time, thanks again. I'm Luke. Good night.